What it do? What it do? 73 episodes. And we're about to go to Lost Lands. I'm excited. I have 15 tracks lined up. And first in line, let's go on and see who that is. The Tree Amigos. Tree Amigos drum and bass bootleg. Ellie Goulding. Burn. Okay, don't mind if I do. Let's go. Run it. Run away. I'll be checking the chat sporadically. What's up, Derek? What's up, Lazy? Kilowatts. Yeah. Let's go. All right, awesome. Good job. Let's run away. Ellie Goulding. Bootleg. Wait, did they say drum and bass? Hold up. Tree Amigos drum and bass bootleg. Okay. This didn't sound like drum and bass. Yeah, this really isn't drum and bass. This is more like hybrid trap, you know? So in the drop, I mean, this is a cool idea. I think this is a really awesome idea. Just the way the vocals work, the vibes that you're getting is cool. The drop, though, has pretty low energy. And if you listen to the way that it transitions from here to here, so it's like there's no tension built. So when we hit this drop, we do have a small little call and response pattern here. But the vocal is kind of gluing the call and response together. So it's almost like it's one clump and there's not enough movement between these phrases here. That like vocal in the background. Plus the vocal's playing this whole time. So now this section feels glued to this. So it's like we need to make it feel like these are two distinct different sections in the build-up leading into the drop and also the phrases within your first. Well, I guess I should say the call and response within your first phrase. So the first phrase is the first 4 bars, and the way the basses move, you have to make sure this choir isn't like gluing it all together. And there's not really any build-up drums or any build-up effects. Well, I guess there's a sweeper, right? A rise, little snare fill, but it's just not enough. There's not enough tension being made here. The more tension we build, the more we can release here on the drop. And there's like no sub either. This really needs to have some more sub, more harmonics on the sub, using saturation, bigger sub, and less highs. It sounds like there's a lot of harsh frequencies that are loud and not enough low frequencies, which is what we need for sure. Pretty good. Pretty decent, eh? Good job, the Three Amigos. Coming in for the first win. Up next, Cavito. Runaway. Oh, wait, that was Cavito. Ah, no wonder. Where is their song? What's going on here? All right, Cavito. I apologize very much so. This was your song the whole time, and everything that I just said applies to your song, right? Lows and highs with the sub getting bigger. What I said about the drum and bass, though, does not apply. It's not drum and bass. None of that matters. But energy transitions, right? We need more energy going into the drop so people can dance more. We don't want to just be chilling. We want to be like headbanging, basically. Enough energy to make you go crazy. I need to see what happened with this song. I don't know. I guess it didn't download. Let's get this in here. That's crazy. All right, so we now are going to make a new spot for the Three Amigos. We'll go ahead and put them right in there. All right. Ellie Goulding Burn. Three Amigos drum and bass bootleg. Now we should hear some drum and bass. Let's run.
What's up, beat maestros? Got a quick remix alert for you. So, SoundCloud's coming down harder on remixes, all in the name of copyright. But hey, before you hit the panic button, it's just to keep everything legit and keep your tracks from disappearing overnight. Yeah, it's a bummer, but roll with it. Think of it as a little remix reality check. Now go ahead, smash that like button and keep those beats fresh.
That's awesome.
We don't have to worry about nothing. 'Cause we got the fire and we burning one hell of a something. They're gonna see us from outer space, light it up like we're the size of the human race. And their eyes going down, they don't know what they heard. Shake the marsh, bring it down, giving love to the world. We'll be raising our hands, shining up to the sky. 'Cause we got the fire. Yeah, we got the fire. And we're gonna let it, 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 and we're gonna let it. Burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. Gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it.
gotta say, that's a pretty nice, pretty awesome track right there. Very great idea. Very high energy, lots of dancing, lots of fun times. Unfortunately, though, this mix has been bulldozed into infinity. It's really loud. It's so loud that it's clipping and distorting, and it's causing issues that we have to discuss. So, what are we talking about here? Dynamics. What are we also talking about here? Breakage. Okay, look at this right here. I'm gonna color this. This is actually a brick that you usually see in like tear out, heavy, super loud, mega compressed dubstep, which sometimes looks like this, and it's crazy. It's a whole different world over there. But this is like drum and bass. This is a whole different, amazing, dynamic, flowy, groovy, wavy genre where headroom and the mix and the master is really important. If it's doing this, we can't turn it up a lot. Like I had to turn it down a lot for it to sound decent, because it's too loud, plus it's starting to distort, so it's getting artifacts that we don't want. For example, in sections like this,
They're gonna see us from outer space.
this is like drums, vocal, synth, right? It's not a lot of elements, and it shouldn't be -3 LUFS. It's very, very loud for this part of your song. Think about it like this. If it's -3, and then your drop is also -3, your drop won't sound as heavy because it won't be louder than your intro and stuff. You're getting to the point where your buildup almost gets louder than your drop. So we got to make sure, like, that section that we're talking about here
They're gonna see
is like -6 LUFS. And then we eventually make our way up to maybe like -4 LUFS for the drop, And that should be like your maximum, because that's really loud. You can even go quieter than that, like -5 LUFS for your drop, because -5 LUFS is still really loud, very loud. Regular EDM, like regular house, is like -8, -7, -6 LUFS. So you can hover around that range. When you get to -5, -4, and especially -3, we're just getting really loud, and we're risking killing dynamics. We want to be able to feel the movements and the waves, because that's how we get the feeling from the songs and how the emotions come out. If everything's clipped and bricked, it's a straight line, and that's just very unnatural. We need there to be dynamics. So unfortunately, this whole amazing song was destroyed by the mix and has to be adjusted. I really recommend sending your signals to buses. If you send all of your signals to one master, things are sure to go astray. That's a lot of different signals trying to, make room. You got to be EQing a lot. You got to be limiting. You have to understand signal flow. Audio engineering, my template that I use all the time has my buses that you can download as well. You can get anything you need. Just hit me up and I'll help you with that if you need. You know what I'm saying. Otherwise, good job. I felt a lot of good emotions in that. Very nice. Next, we got Phase Pilot with Vulcan. Drop only. 2. Naturally. Casually. We don't got 1 or 3, unfortunately. We lost 1 and 3 in the tornado of 1940. But we have number 2. Let's get it. Oh yeah, that's a banger. Nice, dude. High energy, fun. It got, it honestly, it just put me right into the mode of Lost Lands, right? These next 5 days are going to be crazy. Am I ready? I was born ready. This song puts me into that mode. I love that mode. I got to say at the beginning, though, the energy was low compared to when it started to speed up. The sub also sounds like not big enough, like not loud enough. And if we look at the our master LUFS, we're coming in -7, which is, we still have, this is a good volume to be at, right? This is loud, but for this type of genre, we're going to need to be louder, right? We want to push closer to that -4 LUFS because we need this to be as high energy and as intense as possible. So you're going to be using compression, using saturation, using groups and layering. And you want to get to the point where it's loud and clean. And you want to make sure that you're not, going too loud where you're bricking or too loud where you're over compressing and losing your dynamics. So it's all about balance. You know what I'm saying? That's why mixing and mastering engineers get paid the big bucks, because they be balancing. They be balancing everything together. And this section, once we start adding the sustains, it's good energy, and the switch is nice. So this is cool. This is definitely something you can work on. Try to theme out so the intro and build up are easier. Once there's a theme, like Space Cowboys or monkeys that love lemonade, anything random. Or maybe you love robots that transform into vehicles. I bet no one has done that idea. So yeah, naturally and casually, you can theme anything out, make your vocal pre-drops and your fills easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Good job, Phase Pilot. Usually coming in with the heat. You love to see it. Next, we got Rose Covered Gas Mask, Soda 2, Export number 2, Dot Wave. I enjoy soda. Drip, this is my latest. I just don't know my strengths or weaknesses. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? We're going to check it out. Good on the level. Hey, rolling, roll. Cheez-Its and crackers, everybody. That is what you do when you hear it. Rose Color Gas and Mass Company and with Soda 2 Export number 2. You never knew. All right, so there are some things that need improvement in here for sure. This is a good idea, man. I like this idea. It feels crazy. It feels like I'm trying to think of the place I've seen. I think it's like an India Buddhist temple where there's gold everywhere and everyone's just like in their luxurious linens and just doing some wiggle wibbles or the wiggly wobblies. Basically. I don't know what that means, but you can take it how you get it. The things that I'm checking out here. So it sounds like some of the notes are off. That lead synth thing, that slow moving one. Sounds like you're in a scale, but then maybe some notes are off. So I would double check your scale, make sure that you're in harmony. If you're going to create dissonance and get out of the scale, this is of course allowed, but you have to do it very strategically and make sure that you do it in points where it makes sense. And as you progress more and get more advanced with your music theory, it becomes easier to know when to create dissonance and when not to. The sub also is almost like moving to a different flow and a different beat than all your basses. Like the basses are going super fast, but the sub just stays slow, and the sub really should be moving to the speed of those basses in some sections, and maybe you can go back to the slow sub, but going back and forth will help a lot, because right now we're just like in halftime and there's a lot of extra energy that could be added to this, but because of how dominant the sub is in the mix and how slow it's moving in rhythm, we're not able to dance that fast, and the sub doesn't have enough silence really. When all these basses are going fast and the sub is just being sustained through it, they're almost competing, right? They should be in harmony, flowing together in some way. And you can experiment with different rates with the sub, but you can also resample the sub to audio so that you can fade it and make perfect wubs, which I do often. And lastly, the transition. So we're vibing over here. We're all taking a vibe. Then all of a sudden, we just abruptly change to a lot of distorted, loud noises when we were kind of vibing. So we need to be able to make a breakdown, a build up, some type of transitional section so that we can flow into this, drop. And, in that transitional section, that's where we introduce more distortion noise and kind of get people prepared for what's about to happen, which is this more intense section. But abruptly just like changing it from the vibes to this is not as effective as it would be if you created a transition section. You can do that in many different ways too. But that is about it. Good vibes. Soda. I love soda. But I have to stop drinking soda because soda is poison. It's good poison. Did you miss it by any chance? I can't see it anywhere on the tracks you've reacted to. I submitted the Trio Amigos Ellie Gullingburn bootleg. Yes, I actually just reviewed that song. I accidentally messed up, so I thought it was one song at the beginning, but then it was the second song that I listened to and gave feedback on. Okay, good. Ethan, what's good, dog? How's it going? We out here, guys. All right, we going on to the next one. It's called Untitled 215 9.11.24. That is a savage name. I don't even know who could have uploaded this. Obviously, it's nothing. Nothing uploaded this. You would have never known. Introducing the guy named Nothing. What's his name? It's Nothing. Vibes. Yeah, let's go. Nothing until 215, 911, 24. All right, cool. We got some, I don't even know how to describe it. There's a lot of different basses in here that seem a little bit out of place, so it's hard to describe it. It's very wonky, just weird rhythm. There are some things that need to be worked on in here for it there to be energy, because right now there's not a lot of substance here. Not a lot to dance to. Energy's pretty low, and there's a main synth that's really abrasive and harsh and out of place. I'm really not in harmony with anything. So main common patterns over time that I noticed were the lack of call and response. So the lack of movement between your basses. Look at my latest video on call and response. It's amazing. It's a very good time. You can see how the pros do it. And then overall synthesis works. So like the level of sound design that's going on here. Some sounds sound maybe like higher level than others. Some sounds don't feel full enough. They feel thin. They don't feel strong. And we really need them to be thick, you know? And layering and synthesis work and knowing your frequency spectrum and the stereo image and how to layer those things together will be the key. In some sections, you obviously are making sounds, but they're flowing in a way where we're dancing in halftime. So maybe you wrote, or maybe your DAW's in 140 beats per minute, but we're actually moving to 70 beats per minute because of the speed of how the basses are and the sub and everything. So remember, if we're riding around 40, but we're actually dancing in 70 and not 140, that's half the speed. That's a huge energy boost down. And you can have halftime in your songs, right? I'm not saying that's not allowed, but you have to, once again, do it strategically. Make sure that you know what genres to do it in and just understand how the timing and flow works. So towards the end, because of all these flow issues, it gets hard to listen to towards the end here. It's really hard to continue and finish this track because the energy has dropped off so significantly that when we're at the point here, it's literally just sounds like noise is playing and there's not really any flow or movement between sounds. And that's a really big problem. So you want to really work on call and response. Remember, within 4 bars, call, response, fill. It's the best way to practice movement between basses, and then you can expand and grow from there. Yeah. You were doing good in the intro though, and the build-up sounded good. Like there was a lot of energy being prepared for the drop. But then as soon as we got to the drop, just energy started going down. So we got to work on those things. Hit me up if you need help with any of that. I got you. And remember, I do lessons, 2-1v1 lessons if you need direct help. Also, up next, warp_gate.exe. WIP. Okay, sounds like a Windows XP file, but you never know what's good till you know what's good. This is by execution. The bit at the end is just there because I thought it sounded cool. Second drop is very unfinished, yo. Let's listen. Run it, go. Okay, that is execution coming in with the warp gate. Whip. You'd love to see it. Man, there's some heaviness going on here. I really enjoyed this first drop here. Unfortunately, though, the hi-hat sounds just like white noise, and it's very aggressive in the frequency spectrum, taking up a lot, and it's like louder than everything else. So the whole time you're trying to listen to the basses and stuff, this hi-hat keeps coming in and like trying to, take control of everything, and it's just competing with all the main, big boys. But also the main bass layers, they could be layered more, and they should be cutting through the mix more and louder and thicker. They sound thin and not as thick as they should be. The flows are good. The switches are good. The energy and the ideas are awesome. Some of these build-ups, though, need work. They sound very empty. Some of the timing feels a little off, like when the snares come in the halfway points. So you just have to like listen in context. Like it may like look fine timing wise, but it's all about how it flows from this into this. So just listen in context. Always take the time to listen beforehand to make sure your build-ups flow perfectly into the next sections. And then this last build is just like, I thought it was going to be pretty sick at first, but then it started to just get really congested. Lots of space, like reverb congestion. If there's a lot of reverb stacked on top of each other and it doesn't sound clean, we need it to sound clean. One reverb can be all you need to get the space big enough, and then you can EQ the reverb and further process it. And like the amount of noise that's within the reverb getting, spaced out, it's just not clean, unfortunately. So definitely work on that, but overall this is good vibes. I really like the intro. It's nice. Good potential, very good. Nice foundation, I must say. Good job. X, up next, Corvex. I don't really know nothing else. It's a great name for a song. It's a really good name for a song. Check time. Last lands. Tomatoes. I don't really know nothing else. Yo, EDC. I don't really know nothing else. My next Corvex and I don't really know nothing else. Yeah, let's go. As the young Corvex approaches, he grabs his USB and plugs in. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing. Yes.
We're back at the tea house all day.
Okay, then. You're just gonna hit me like that and just walk away? That's aggressive. That was fire, actually. Very clean. Perfect loudness. Very good stereo image. Energies on top. Some sections sound empty, which we'll go over. I mean, I was kind of like, whenever I'm like narrating or rapping or like adding vocals to the track, it usually means it sounds empty. It needs more. A track that's this good and has such a great drop, and the way the drop hits, just it's nice to feel this again, you know, like huge tension, boom, it gets like quiet, and then you get thrown into just something that surprises you. That's the ultimate, and that's what we get here. It feels very nice. There are some sections, so like I said, empty. We need to fill these up. Let's check this. This empty, even though we have the melodic lead changing, you have to understand the respace is louder than that. So that's like background stuff. We need like a synth lead, something that's loud, or a vocal lead that's leading us, adding more energy, adding more harmony, more emotion. There's many things that it could be doing. And then on the build-ups, vocal builds, like there should be way more elements in here. And if those elements transition to your middle build, which should be, yeah, here, it will make a lot of difference too. And just the overall transition from the drop to this middle build can have some transition effects more added there, so it doesn't feel as abrupt. If that's super clean, it'll sound very professional. Drop sounds professional. Drop is awesome. That's the most important part. So I'm very happy with what I heard. And the things that I just mentioned that you should update are easy fixes. It looks like you not knowing anything else is a really good thing. Good job, Corvex. Killing the game. Killing the game. Next, we have a guy getting rained on. Pistolero. WIP. I don't know what that means. I guess a guy who yields pistols. Pistolero. In Spanish speaking regions, a gunman or a gangster. Hi, chica. Run now.
Look into my eyes. They're shining out like stars in the sky. I can be the one for you. Tell me what I want, only true.
repeat the quote. Damn. All right, there we go. Pistoletto. Whip. Man, the bass line's really holding it down in this song. I must say, bass line is funky fresh. Nice. Bass line's not loud enough, unfortunately. The whole song isn't loud enough, actually. The drop is negative 11 LUFS. And it's negative 19 LUFS in the intro, which is just super quiet. This is basically, I mean, just thinking about it like this. If a podcast, like if Joe Rogan's voice on the podcast is negative 15 LUFS, and your song is quieter than his voice, that's a problem. That's not a fun time. Our song should be a little bit louder than his voice. -9, -8 LUFS, right? In this section. Intro. And then boom, drop hits. Boom. -7 LUFS. Maybe hit him with a -8 LUF. -5 LUF, you know. Chill. That's going to add a lot more intensity, a lot more energy in this song, and it'll make sure that we don't have to turn it up. If we're listening to songs at regular volume and 90% of the songs are regular volume, and then all of a sudden your song comes on and it's just like super quiet, and then we have to turn it up, I promise you, people usually just don't turn it up. They just figure out why it's too quiet. It's a problem. So the mixing and mastering, it has to be done, and it's not $19.90. It doesn't cost $30,000 to get things mixed and mastered. And we have the tools to do it quickly, easily, and for free. We don't have to get effed over by some record label and have them tell us it's $20,000 to get 10 songs mixed and mastered. Craziness out there, man. So, yeah. Learn about the mix and mastering, compression, right? EQ, saturation, limiting, Pro L. If you just had Pro L, dude, Pro L is just like all you really need, honestly. EQ, Pro L. And, oh yeah, it's like, we looked up the definition of pistolero, right? It's like gunman, gangster. This is like the opposite of a gangster gunman. Match the name with the vibe, with the energy. It would make sense. It would help people connect to it more. And some of the vocals sound very off key in some sections, like here. I don't know if like you have some vocalists singing this or something, but you gotta make sure that they're singing it correctly. If you don't have a vocalist singing, you got to use auto-tune and Melodyne, and you got to double check the notes that they're hitting in the vocal loop, because just because you download a sample pack doesn't mean that the vocalist they got for the sample pack is perfect or hitting her notes perfect. She could be slightly off. You know, there's 100 cents per semitone. So there's a lot of different variation. We want to make sure things are on harmony, especially when you have like chords and harmony playing underneath the vocals. And this section would benefit from the vocals so much. It sounds very empty without it. And the vocals in general are very low volume. They're very dry. There's not enough reverb and delay. There's not enough parallel processing to make these sound normal and default. They should be loud and big with big tails, super clean. You can sidechain compress the dry vocal to the wet chain and get it like mega clean. Lots of different like pop vocal tricks that you're going to want to be tapping into when you're making a song like this. So you can make it really nice, clean, and just lovely, man. Good idea though. I really like this idea, and it's catchy. Drop is the most important part, and that sounded groovy and good, which is really good news. So good job. You know what it is. Zack Attack coming in with Pistolero WIP. Next is Rage. It sounds like he don't want to lose you. So we're going to go ahead and listen to it. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. For sure. Oh. Yeah. Don't want to lose you, huh? Alright, cool. This is decent. Honestly, it's pretty muddy. When we get to the drop, there's a lot of intensity, a lot going on. But because it's so loud and because there's a lot of low frequency, like mud buildup, what I mean is like low mid. So on the EQ, everything that's 100, see where my cut is? 100 to like 400. This is a problematic area. And you can see our EQA even tells us like these are like, see how it's like bigger sections in the background. If there's a lot of stackage going on here, that's a problem. Or if there's any frequencies from 400 hertz below going to the sides, that's a problem. So like all your low frequencies need to be mono in the middle, like your kick and your sub, similar. And you have to be very careful with spreading these low mids to the side. You can't really spread any lows to the side at all. And you have to just be like carving out EQs a lot because you're turning up a lot of unwanted and just not desired frequencies. It's causing a lot of mud and distress and extra congestion in the mix, when really it should be highlighted on these amazing like heavy basses that you made, but we can't really hear them because they're being overpowered by these unwanted frequencies. And this is a very common issue. But stereo image education and also the low mids mud education is everything. When I look at this EQ8, you don't always have to cut. You can turn down. You can carve like this. Every sound is going to be different. You adapt to every sound differently, and that's what's going to help. Some sections sound very empty, you know, like the intro leading up to the break. This is very empty, and it's this is 16 bars of the intro without like a vocal lead. And once we get to this part here, we could also add the vocal lead. So go ahead and check this out. The vocal like is kind of being teased over here. But there's just so much harmony and melody in this intro that, I mean, it's a perfect place for the vocal, and it sounds empty without it. Especially when it goes higher energy right here. Adding like a sick vocal chop or something with the vocal. The human voice, by the way, is the best instrument known to man. It's the only thing that connects everyone together. Language is super important. It produces energy, our voice. So you want the human voice in here, especially if she's singing perfect in harmony with what you made. That's just like a dream come true. And lastly, this build up needs like more elements, a new element, maybe a new bass riser, something going crazy just to add more energy and tension, but also fill it up because it's a little empty with everything that's in currently. That's about it though. A really good idea. Lots of emotion, heaviness. That's what we're looking for. Those are the good things that we need. So just work on the mixing, the mastering, the layering, the parallel processing, the stereo imaging. These are the things that need to be addressed. And then also vocal processing, making the vocals reverb and delay with parallel processing, making them big and loud and clean so that they can fit perfectly on top of your composition. That's Rage. Don't want to lose ya. Next, Herbivore. There ain't no carnivore in here. We got Mr. Herbivore, Dawn's Early Light. That's a cloud with a rainbow. Go.
In the dawn's early light, we saw a blinding flame,
Yeah.
a flash that stole our sight in the sky.
Yes. What's up, Roses? Glad you got off. Boy, this boy's a composer. Oh, what you know? All right, this is nice. This felt really good. I mean, there's a lot of just story being told with this. So much emotion, so much harmony. Unfortunately, though, it sounds like you are very skilled with the music theory and the piano, but you need to learn more about like EDM, energy and flow and progression, because it sounds like you're trying to build it. Right? There's a build up here. So you're obviously trying to go for a drop. But when we get here to the drop, it sounds very low energy, empty, not enough layers. The progression of the basses sound like regular melodic progressions, and they need to be structured in the call and response pattern that I mentioned earlier. Watch the call and response video, learn call response and fill within 4-bar phrase, and you'll like sprinkle in your chord progressions, but then you'll start to highlight the main basses and you'll go back and forth that way. So you'll have your super nice melodic, epic story intros. God, this reminds me of Avenged Sevenfold a lot. They would do like a little piece of heaven and have these amazing compositions, and then they would have like little narrations over it, and it sounds so like happy and evil and sad at the same time, and just so cool. There's a lot of potential here, and you're doing really good. But you got to work on your drops. You got to make sure that this isn't, you built so much energy here. We need to continue the same amount of energy while also increasing the energy over time as the drop progresses. That'll be the goal, and it's definitely possible. I would be able to help you with that easy. So just hit me up if you have any questions, DM me, and if you need help with lessons too, I can help with that. We can work on this and really get it super epic. Good job. Music theory goes a long way, guys. I'm telling you, once you learn scales in the piano and how harmony and chord progressions work, it just takes you into the spiritual world. You become a god with frequencies. Next, Goat Dubs. This is the sudden death and slander blood on me. Goat Dubs edit. We have parentheses. Check out this cover art. That's always a nice time. Goat Dubs edit. Run it.
Temporary shame. I know you like the taste. Keeps you up at night. You know that it's not
Not allowed to be able to go to Lost Lands and he'll know how to.
I've been half a day. Wanna touch your face. Plus you got me right. Nothing else to say. I like messing with your mind. I do this every time. I can't get your blood on me. Your blood on me. I can't get your blood on me. I can't get your blood on me. Your blood on me. Blood on me.
Jesus Christ. That, my friends, is a clean fucking mix. Good job, Goat Dubs. I am really happy to hear how clean this sounded because you've been submitting for a long time and I've heard a lot of different songs from you, and this is, they clean it. It just sounds so professional. It sounds so clean. It just sounds ready. I mean, we're measuring everything as we go. Loudness is perfect. Stereo image looks perfect. But none of that stuff that I just mentioned matters unless it sounds good. When I'm listening, the leads are up front and clear. There's not a lot of mud. There's not a lot of harsh frequencies. I can turn it up a lot without it blowing my ears, and we're still very loud. These are really good signs of a perfect mix. And honestly, like, the energy kept progressing. The way we transitioned from your sections to their sections sounds flawless. This is very good. It's hard for me to give feedback on it besides good feedback, you know. Anything else would really be of preference and of taste if you wanted to go in any other directions. But this is sick, dude. Definitely continue to use EQ, compression, figure out how everything blended together here so you can start to use these practices and use the new knowledge learned from this project. Because remember, every song's different, so you'll start to get mud in different songs and weird issues will happen that you haven't encountered. But studying the way your mix came out on your old songs can help. This is fire. Good job, Group Dubs. Let's check out, oh yeah, I'm about to say, when you added the vocal on the second drop, beautiful. Second drop choice, leaving it out for the first drop. Perfect. These little things make a huge difference. It's very clean. It's a fake out, like it sounds like it's about to drop, and then right on the clap we fake out. It's fucking gangster, dude. You see, guys, he added his fill again right before the actual drop. So like second pre-drop, you know. And the call and response, like this call is just so like, you get thrown into the response, which is very helpful. Fucking clean, my boy. Good job. That's fun. I would definitely play this at the Renegade, at one of my Renegade sets at Lost Lands. I'm going to be playing a couple. If you guys want to meet me, we can meet this in a couple days. Thursday night, Renegade set. Look on my Instagram, look on my Discord. I'm going to post the flyer, and then we'll do a Dripment meetup this weekend. And it'll be sick, dude. We'll rage. We can get a group of 50 people, a group of 50. And we'll just run through the mosh pit, and it'll be really fun. We can chill on the outer rim of the mosh pit. We can go into the mosh pit. You can go outside of the outer rim of the mosh pit. You could be comfy wherever you need. If you're comfy getting thrown around in the mosh pit, that's a good time. That's what we're going to do. Up next, not lo-fi dubstep whip. Interesting. Xavier. I mean, Jimenez. Look at the skull with the sword. It's a skeleton in the desert, and he looks bamboozled. Let's see if he is. Do you post your mixes? I won't be posting this one, but I'm going to be uploading a showcase mix soon, and a lot of different DJ mixes soon. A lot of DJ videos, but it's this is not lo-fi dubstep. It's not lo-fi dubstep.
What is that? this? Lo-fi dubstep?
Bamboozle?
Hands up, then we gonna drop.
Fuck you and who you came with. Fuck.
What is this? Lo-fi dubstep?
Hands up.
All right, Jimenez coming in with not lo-fi dubstep. It wasn't lo-fi dubstep. It sounded like dubstep to me, really. This is nice flows. We got some nice flows in here. We do have some basses that don't sound full enough. They sound like wide, but then we're like losing the mono signal and we're losing the beef. We need both, right? And then the sub will be in harmony with the mono bass, and then we have extra bass on the side to fill the frequencies. Fill the stereo image fully. That'll be a good time. Check every bass that's supposed to be the main bass at that time. I know a lot of basses are switching, so you got to check each one and make sure they're all loud enough with your left meter and full enough with your imager. Check groups. The energy is lower on the second drop.
What is this? Lo-fi.
These buildups are kind of empty. Add like a lot of, you can add off rate buildups. I have buildup tutorials that show you how to make buildups with AutoPan and Arpeggiator. I think I just uploaded a short, actually, yes. And the short shows you how to make a sustain bass, like, and then like adding extra stuff like that will help a lot with adding energy. The overall loudness, let's double check. Yeah, so we're good there. We just need to make these basses sound fuller, thicker, and doing the mono stereo and being hyper aware of how much space and reverb you have is going to be important. Try not to drown your bass in reverb. Do your reverb in parallel so that you can have your clean bass, and then you add the reverb signal to that bass. That's how you get it done, you know what I'm saying? Good job, Jimenez. Next up, Wiz Khalifa Get Some. Lazy Flip number 2. Number 2. Rose Flames in the chat.
They say the boy is sick and they can't diagnose my symptoms. Witnessing the doctor try to find me a prescription. Told him since an early teen, all I see is the color green. He said there ain't nothing wrong, probably wasn't listening. Probably wasn't listening. Probably wasn't listening. Get some, get some, get some, get some, Grandma tell me somebody need to. Preacher, he said, from the side of town where you can get it for the shorty love. Get some. Anything about me, they know that I'm a ball. Different city every night, I'm the star. And I don't need a piece, I want it all.
Tell him all. Hey. Wiz Khalifa Get Some. Lazy Flip number 2. Man, this is pretty cool. This is a good idea. This sounds very empty section though. And when the vocals come in, they sound very loud because this section's so quiet. So we want to make sure that these transitions are natural, good. The vocals in the drop, they sound louder than the actual basses, and they sound like they're almost competing with the spotlight for who's the star. Really, the vocals should be supporting the bass. The bass should be the main lead that's loudest and has upfront center attention, and the vocals should be EQ'd and carved differently in this section only. In the intro, they're fine, but in the drop, we can carve them more and make them flow more with the actual basses. When you're chopping up the vox, we're just like playing it and like cutting them off. But you can be chopping up the vocals to flow with how the basses are going. Like dump, 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 dump. Like your vocals can also go to the speed of your basses, and you can chop them up to be in harmony with what else is going on around it. That'll help a lot. Otherwise, it sounds pretty clean. It sounds nice. The beginning sounds like abnormally stretched right here. So just double check that, make sure that's fixed. The details really do matter. Oh yeah, and then on the build-up.
Wasn't listening. Probably wasn't listening.
Like you're looping the probably wasn't listening, and then you like stop looping it. So then it sounds like empty, and you can keep looping that vocal that you started with and, you know, transition it into that next section. It'll be really clean. Otherwise, Wiz Khalifa is amazing. So putting him in your song is always a good idea. Get some Wiz Khalifa. Lazy. Next, we have Kilowatts with Hidden in the Shadows. Who's in the shadows? I don't know. He's hidden.
When we're gone, when the walls come down, hear the call. We're holding out.
My most viewed and liked track, but it's from last year. My production's got better, so definitely ready to do it. Sounds good.
To bring it all home.
You're welcome, Lazy. When I trade off dry duty, I'll get to work. Yes, sir. Peace out, roses. You're welcome, Jimenez. Let's go. Kilowatts. I kind of like it. Hidden in the shadows. I gotta say, man, I got kind of lost. You got me staring at the wall, feeling zoned out in this section.
Leave it in the fire.
Very nice. That's good. In first drop, there's basses that compete with each other. It's like they both share the same space in regards to frequency spectrum, low mid specifically. And while one of the basses like running its thing and like he's like stoked as hell because he finally gets the microphone, he's singing, and all of a sudden the background singer comes up and like kicks him in the shin and starts singing when he's singing. And then now they're competing and then it's just not a good time. So EQ is important. You figure out which one's your main. That guy does not get EQ'd. If he does, it's very minimal, right? But then the other ones get EQ'd so they can fit with the other bass. And that's what the EQ is about, like having them mesh together and fit together. And it's one of the common issues on this song. Also on some of the side image. So the stereo image on the sides, left and right, there's like low mids and unwanted frequencies on that side. So you can do mid-side EQ or you can just do regular EQ, whatever you think is fit. But we got to be careful to make this as clean as possible so we don't want any mud on the sides, basically. Good flows though. Nice sound design. The sound design is kind of thin. Could be a little bit bigger on some basses. And then on the second drop, it's sounding pretty empty. Nice flow. It's awesome having the vocal in here as well. But sounding empty. There could be more elements, more energy. It sounds like there's space available for rent and for sale. And you know, this is Los Angeles, so that's in high demand. So you better get that field up to date. Good job, Kilowatts. As normal, coming in with some cool, unique awesomeness. I would definitely make a flip on that intro. Or a remix on the intro. Oh, yeah, that's cool. All right. We got smacking bags. Smacking bags. Parentheses, first time using Reason. This is Snasta. Let's get ready. Let's go. This is Snasta. Snasta just got the Reason and let's see
What
who's
you're doing
doing
with
the
this
Reason.
bag that looks like it's full of urine.
Seems like most festival goers understand what that means. It's sort of a unity, I suppose, amongst the festival goers. I've been to festivals from Florida to Illinois to California. It seems like everyone slaps the bag. Everyone slaps the bag. Slaps the bag.
Yeah, what are you talking about when you say slapping the bag?
Element of where you are. It's a foundation.
Please illustrate for me.
Experience. Everyone slaps the bag.
Yeah, what are you talking about when you say slapping the bag?
Element of the where you are. It's a foundation.
That's good. That's a real EDM-y, real dubstep-y. Resampling something like that. It's just very artistic. You know what I'm saying? So great start. Basses sounded nice, but the sub is clipping too much and the basses start to get repetitive and there's not enough movement and energy between the basses. So like when the sub starts, you can tell the sub is causing too much distortion in the mix and it's clipping too hard. It's overpowering all the other elements, and that's an issue. We need there to be some sort of balance. It could still sound clipped and big, but there needs to be balance. Call and response, what I mean is like your main bass should be the response. So it's like 70% of doing the work. But then at the beginning, we have different tones, different pitches, different flows to kind of take a break from the response. And then we can go back and forth between two different basses, two different feelings. So that response bass always stays new and fresh as we continue throughout the song. This section, fucking heavy.
Of where you are. It's a foundation.
Please illustrate for me.
Experience.
That's nice. Nice flow, good high energy there, good transitions. But the next phrase where we repeat the sustain, it sounds repetitive at this point. And the energy is just not, it's definitely not as high as it was in the previous phrases. So definitely try to transition into new feelings, new flows, because that's what's going to keep the energy high. Overall, the basses sounded nice. I think Reason's going to be a nice tool for the arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Good job, Snasta. Smacking bags, very nice. Artistic, creative, fun time. All right, we need to re-download this. He re-uploaded it. He said we're going to re-get this and we're going to replace it with his submission. Late as fuck will now get replaced with Who Wants Smoke, Nardo Wick. Highs flip or haze? Highs? Haze highs? How do you say that? Let me know in the chat. Let's go. Run it. Let's go. Okay, cool. All right, so we are going to listen to the beginning so we can see how loud this is. So coming in about negative 5.7, negative 6, which is pretty loud. And unfortunately, what is playing are frequencies that we really don't want to be loud. These are very harsh, high frequencies that are being turned up a lot. And it sounds very empty and very low energy because we're missing all of the important frequencies like the mids and the lows, which is the sub bass. There is a sub in here, but it's very, very small. It's almost non-existent. And that thing needs to be fixed and needs to be the main thing of this. Remember, this is bass music. So if there's not a sub, we really don't have much of a song. Then keep in mind your lead, that's high frequency. So you need something to support it in the mid frequency spectrum. And then the flow between that high frequency sound is just repeating. It's playing too much. There needs to be movement using call and response. And we can take a break from that. And when it comes back, it feels new and fresh and keeps the energy high and progressing throughout the track. In the build-up, it's super important that your timing is on point. So when your kicks are just randomly being played during the build-up, that's going to cause issues with energy. It's important you get the timing perfect and on grid in important sections like the build-up. So double check the timing there, and then you can get these vocals. You can get these vocals going with like a hi-hat loop. Right now there's just a snare. There's not like a kick or a hi-hat. You can make a whole drum loop, which will be a lot better for this vocal to sit on. So like kick, snare, and like a hi-hat loop, for example. And that'll be good for your intro. This is a good idea though, using the vocals. I think you need to continue doing that. Just work on the call and response and work on filling the frequency spectrum. Good job. On smoke. Thank you guys for submitting your tracks. I appreciate that you guys want my feedback, and I hope to see you in person at Lost Lands. Once again, I'll be DJing Thursday night, and if you guys want to meet me after the Lost Lands pre-party, we can. I'll be posting the exact location for that, Instagram and Discord. Just hit me up if you guys have any questions or need help with anything, or if you just want to like maybe say hi. No, last time. You know what I'm saying? Peace out, guys. Stay fresh later and keep making those bangers.